Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Perpetual and D Time Love Show. We have a very special guest joining us. We have the lovely Lucy Cheesewright, the head of WatchPro Salon Live. And we've also got another special guest. We've got the one and only, a foundation member of the watch community, the one and only Thomas Burnett. You all know Alex from Perpetual Time and myself from the D Time Love channel. Lucy, welcome to the world
Hello.
of YouTube live streaming. How are you?
I'm good. This is my first YouTube live stream.
Fantastic, fantastic. So I want to start off really, Lucy. Tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, and how you got started with WatchPro.
Well, my background is I used to be the event director for an event called Salon QP, which hopefully a lot of you will have heard of. So from 2011 to 2016, it was my baby. And then I left to start my own business, which I did for 3 years. And then WatchPro, it was very much a B2B title back when I was doing Salon QP. And what happened over the last few years, and particularly then when COVID happened, the traffic really grew. And so rather than just having like the decision makers in the industry reading us, with the consumer side grew and grew. So Rob and Dan, who are the co-founders, approached me about coming in to sort of launch their events division, which is what we did at the beginning of last year. Which was a bit of a bold move, the year coming out of COVID, but we put our stake in the ground, and in last February said we were going to do a salon, and we did it. We did our first one last November. And so we are back in just over 2 weeks to do the second edition.
Fantastic. And I have to say, being a partner with WatchPro and the experience I had at WatchPro was fantastic. And it was very refreshing to have something of that caliber in the UK, something that we can all be proud of, because we always get to see watch events overseas in the US, in Europe, and you're pretty much the first to bring a watch show of brands exhibiting to the UK of that nature in the UK. So Lucy, you are really the brains, the talent behind it, aren't you really? So we all know who WatchPro is. They're the UK's #1 watch publisher or publication in the UK. And they've sat on my reception desk probably for over a decade, but you've really opened the door to a whole different world where we get to see the watch brands really. And we've got quite a few people coming through now. We've got about 20 people watching. And Alex, how are you, first of all? So before we get in the nitty-gritty of the stream, let's let people join us as such. And we'll talk about Lucy, the show, who's going to be exhibiting. You've got a few special announcements as well. And Thomas, yourself, you are someone who attended WatchPro, the first one. How did you find the event last year?
I found it exceptional. It was amazing to be able to meet these brand owners and actually talk to them. People like Kari Voutilainen, the people from Zeitwinkel, and to hear the talks from the owners as well, to hear actual talks. People like Giles Ellis from Schofield Watches did a great talk on designs of watches and his design background. Roger Smith did an amazing talk. Just to hear great talks and to see the brands and be able to talk with the people from the brands, the representatives, and some of the brand owners. Cyrus watches, Schofield watches. An exceptional show for the watch enthusiast who's interested in watches. A must. A definite must, yeah.
And Alex, yourself, how did you find the show? Because meeting fellow watchmakers, must have been something that is very aspirational for you as well. And they actually knew who you were as well. So I was right when I said that you were world famous, Alex. Maybe you want to fill us in on your experience there.
Well, I got to meet Kari Voutilainen, who I've always wanted to meet. Had a good chat with him. And I met someone very special as well. You know who that is, Dee, don't you?
What, do you want to mention who that is?
It was you, wasn't it?
Of course,
I thought it was about me for a minute there.
Well, no, Lucy. It was a very special occasion meeting Lucy as well, and I think my relationship with Lucy started really at World Time, isn't it, Lucy? I mean, we met there, and I think the partnerships worked well. I mean, it's worked well for my business. A lot of things have materialized off the back of working with WatchPro. It's been a great partnership, and I have to say Lucy deserves a lot of credit for what she does, because being in recruitment myself, I know how tough it is in the event industry. My sister works for the Excel Center, so I hear, you know, how tough it can be to do an event. But having worked with different conference companies and them having a massive team, sponsorship, delegate sales, you name it, coordinators, Lucy does the whole project herself. Not only she's the producer, she brings it all together. She's the glue of the WatchPro Salon Live. I know Rob does his part, and you've got a great team around you, but I could see, you know, the effort and the drive that you have, Lucy. So what's your vision now for the WatchPro Salon Live?
Well, so doing Salon QP for 6 years meant I had 6 years of doing things well, not doing things well. You know, you don't get everything right every time, and it really was a labor of love. And when I joined Salon QP, I fell into it. I didn't know anything about the watch industry, so it was kind of, as the years went on, I became more and more sort of, as I said, I kind of fell in love with it, because, you know, the brands behind it, and giving them a stage and being able to create an environment where you know, people can come and meet the people and hear the stories and discover new brands. It's just like really rewarding. So to be able to bring that into something completely new with WatchPro, and also the fact that it really is an amazing team that I get to work with, and so that, and we will have a really good vision of what we want to do, and so my plan really is to just continue to grow it. And, you know, I think what's really important is getting the right brands there, having a really good selection, giving people the opportunity to, you know, every year we'll do something slightly different. So we're looking at bringing groups in and doing tours. We have the talks, as Thomas talked about, which is really cool, because it's, you know, some of the stuff that we've got this year, which I'll announce shortly, it's just really cool. And it's these kind of behind the rope experiences and people talking about stories, and that's the sort of thing that you don't get to go to every day. And so we just want to do more of that. And it's about, you know, what the watch industry is very much about community. And COVID, you know, it was really lovely last year, because it was one of the first, I think, events. You know, it was definitely one of the first watch events, and it was just really lovely to see everyone together. And I think everyone desperately was just nice to just be around people, try watches on again, and talk to each other. So yeah,
it's more of like a community, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
That's how I felt when I went to, even with Salon QP, because I went to the Versace gallery. I'm guessing you were there.
That was me.
Did you organise that?
That was me, yeah. So for 6 years. So I think when I started, I had 30 brands, and then my biggest year I had 96, and I took over the whole thing. Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah, it was 14 galleries with cars. I got all sorts in there.
That was an amazing day. I'll never forget it, going to the Versace gallery and seeing all the brands. And I won't moan about this, but I remember I had magazines about this thick in a bag, and the bag ripped because I had so many magazines. It was like weights around. It was honestly, but you know, I saw like Lang & Son there, some mate. Oh, it was just so well done. And can I see that's why WatchPro is so well done as well.
Well, yeah, I did obviously take there is a phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there are certain elements that I've kept, and there's certain elements that and you know, it's but also the world's changed. It's not the same industry. It's really wonderful that the independent brands are having even more of a moment at the moment than they ever were. So that's, you know, this is being able to, and for them as well, you know, they don't have boutiques. A lot of them, they probably may not be even being retailers in the UK. So for watch lovers, they may have only ever seen their watches online. For the brand themselves, they may have just started, and so, you know, it's that's really exciting. And so I want it to be a destination where people, not the industry and consumers, will put in their diary every year with the thought that they'll be able to come and discover new brands. And that, I don't think, if we can do that, and then, you know, in addition to that, looking at doing stuff with other brands. And, you know, the other nice thing I think is that back in the day with Salon QP, everyone launched their watches at Basel. So by the time we got to November, getting actual like launches at the show was quite difficult. But now everything's changed. So we've got like some super cool launches happening, and it's one of those things where brands will start that are already looking at putting the salon in their calendar when they're thinking about what they're going to launch next year. So that's when things start getting really exciting.
Fantastic. So me and Thomas were talking earlier, and we noticed that there's a different variety of watch brands attending this year. So you're always going to get to see something different, you know, at WatchPro. It's not going to be like repetitive, the same old brands. You want to talk to us about some of the new brands that are going to be exhibiting, Lucy, this time around?
Yeah, so we have, I mean, in terms of new brands, we've got a lot of cool independents and new ones that have just launched. Sherpa, they've just launched. Artel Rotec have just confirmed they're a US brand and they launched this year. And we've got Elliott Brown, who are launching a world exclusive painted watch, which is very exciting. Who else is new this year? Minets are a new independent we've got, and Seven Friday are going to be there this year, which is I'm really excited about. So it's their 10-year anniversary, and they are going to have a bar. So Dan, the CEO, is going to come and be your landlord for the weekend. So he's going to the beers will be on him. So he will also be bringing a selection of their limited edition pieces and like their star pieces from the last 10 years. So yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. And yeah, there's lots of brands. The best thing to do is to go onto that lovely website address that keeps scrolling on the bottom, and you can see the full list. And we have a couple more that will be coming through. So keep an eye on it.
And basically, what I would like to say to the Seiko fanboys who may not be buying Grand Seikos, but Seiko will be attending as well, which is going to be a new thing for the UK, because the Seiko fanboys will love to see the new Seiko Prospects range, and I take it Seiko 5 range will be there. So there's going to be a full range of representation from Japan as well. So it's not just going to be the Swiss as such. So well,
that actually leads me on quite nicely to one of the talks that we have. That we are we will be announcing it early next week. But the Londoner, which is obviously the location for the event, has a rooftop bar that's Japanese themed. So they have a very exciting whiskey menu, which has got a selection of Japanese whiskies as well as Scotch whiskies. So Dave Sharp of Scottish Watches fame will be doing, and also the sort of whiskey sommelier, I don't know if that's what you call him, from the Londoner, will be coming and doing a whiskey and watches talk. So that's gonna be the final talk of the day on Saturday. So you can use your brain power for the whole day, and then you get to try loads of whiskey. So that sounds quite fun, doesn't it?
Fantastic. So in terms of the schedule of the day, Lucy, do you want to sort of run through for any viewers that may be attending what the schedule will be like? I know that you guys do announcements and such, but it's good for people before they go in to know what to expect in terms of the talks that are going to be happening.
Yes, the Friday is the opening day, so that's when there won't be any talks on the Friday, but you can buy tickets from 2 till there's like the VIP preview, which is champagne canapes. You can book private appointments to see brands if you want to. That's from 2 till 5:30, and then it's our opening night cocktail, which is 5:30 till 8:30, and then on Saturday we have talks. The actual timings will be confirmed next week, but the talks will be the opening hours are 10 till 6, and we have a new talk on design, which is going to be a panel discussion hosted by Silas Walton of A Collected Man, and it's going to have Mo Coppolietta and Lucas Soprana plus Johnny Dowell, who obviously are really well renowned for doing amazing design and unique collaborations. So they are going to come and talk about some of the projects they've done, potentially give us some insight into stuff they're doing. So that's really cool. So RJ, who is the founder of Fratello and Speedy Tuesdays, is going to come and talk about how he started Speedy Tuesdays and the community around it. And he's also, after his talk, going to host a Speedy Tuesday meetup. So that will be really cool.
That's really cool, isn't it? Yeah.
We have a panel talk hosted by Michael Clarizzo on sustainability and the greater good. So that's going to have watch brands on the panel who will be, the likes of Oris, who went carbon neutral last year, and we have William Wood, we have Elliot Brown, and so all of them are, very much into doing various things, whether it's in the sustainability world or the charitable world. So it's really it's obviously a very relevant topic at the moment, and it's just nice to showcase what brands are doing outside of just making watches. So that's that. We have Red Bar. So the CEO, Kathleen of Red Bar, is going to come and host a panel discussion on collecting. So that will be a panel of collectors talking about their journey, how they came about to love watches and the rest. And then they will be having a Red Bar meetup afterwards at the event. And then the last one is a panel discussion hosted by our fearless leader, Rob Corder, on the future of pre-owned.
In fact, that's going to be very interesting, I have to say. And Thomas, I'm sure you are excited more than most, because I think you're a fan of all the brands, aren't you, Thomas?
Yeah,
to be fair,
what
are you looking forward to the most?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's going to be Sinn, Parmigiani, Grand Seiko, Cyrus. I was a big fan of last year.
Cyrus,
Parmigiani. Caravaggio didn't make it, but there's going to be SPEAKE-MARIN are going to be there. I like the way that he's championing a lot of British brands. SPEAKE-MARIN, Elliot Brown, he said 7 Friday, Christopher Ward,
William Wood are going to be there as well, I believe.
Christopher Ward aren't going to be there, sadly. But yeah, we do have some really cool British brands. And we also, it's nice to have a good selection. We have, these sort of high-end independent brands like Laurent Ferrier, Zeitwinkel, Charles Girardier, and then you have like brands like Doxa, who are incredibly popular at the moment. As you say, William Wood, who's just launched something, so that will be shown at the show. And as you say, Grand Seiko and Seiko, and like lots of indies, Hanhart, Marathon, Alemano, and Ordain. They are just. The last year it was a case of they just didn't have any watches because they'd all been bought. So which was a great position for them to be in. But I'm so happy they're going to be there as well. So yeah, it's a really cool selection, and I'm just really happy.
Yeah, I know Dana are a really great brand, and they're one of the brands that I'm really looking forward to seeing. And as you mentioned, Laurent Ferrier, top-notch watches, and the Charles Girardier, the Grand Phenomenal with flying tourbillons, and the way they can customize the initials on the watches for you to
with the initials.
Customize different.
They're really cool. They're fantastic.
You got a great spectrum of lower tier brands to mid tier brands and higher end brands. And
I think it's really important to have all of that. And you've got who else we got there? Herbalan. We have Contras Leroy, Perrier, Zodiac. They've obviously they're an amazing brand that's made a comeback. And Victorinox. We have also Czapek, which is really exciting. They're just growing and growing so exponentially fast. So that's amazing to have them there. So the list does go on. I think we've got 5 in total.
How many brands in total would you know?
45.
45. Wow. Very good.
Yeah. There's a couple more as well, just because, why not?
Yeah.
Well, look, in terms of when people go into these events, I think what people do get intrigued about in regards to what potential exclusives may be on launch there. Are you aware of anything exclusive that may be showcased there, Lucy, or has it not been confirmed?
So we've got, as I said, the William Wood watch that's been released quite recently. The Elliot Brown painted new model. That's a huge thing for them, and that's going to be launched at the show. We have a couple of anniversaries. Obviously, we've got the 7 Friday, and they'll be bringing their new model. There is, SPEAKE-MARIN is I think 20 years old, so they've just unveiled a watch in celebration of that, and that's going to be at the show. Laurent Ferrier have just released. But whilst some of them will be first seas, some of them will probably be. A lot of them will be UK first seas. We've got the coda from Grand Seiko. They're gonna, and that's just amazing that we've managed to get that at the show. We have some new brands. So Burns, a new independent brand that have just launched as a brand. They're going to be there. Yeah, we've also got, actually, there's something quite exciting. So eBay are going to be there talking about they've got their authenticity guarantee. They're going to have one of those cool, the grab machines that you would see at the arcade.
Yeah.
They're going to have one of those, and you can win one of 3 watches. So that'll be quite fun.
So, that's a good selling point. People just turn up the show for that. Lucy, what sort of watches are up for grabs?
I don't know. That is something they're going to release next week. So we should we'll be able to let you know. But that's
Alex will be there.
I was interested to Lucy, because I've bought a couple of watches off eBay, a couple of vintage watches, and they've gone through the authentication process, and it's been interesting to see that, because you actually get a little card off eBay saying that what type of watch it is, and that it's been authenticated by them. And it'll be interesting to learn a bit more about that from the eBay representatives.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very kind of relevant topic at the moment, and it's just nice that they've so they're going to be there, obviously talking all about that but at the same time they've got some fun and games literally that you can go and do.
Yeah.
So is eBay going to be basically set up amongst the brands, or will they have their separate area for us to talk?
They're just going to be outside. Obviously, if you remember, the brands are all in the ballroom rooms. They will actually just be at the entrance.
Fantastic. So we can see on the comments there, Lucy, the chats are starting to come in now. Normally it takes a little bit of time for it to kick in. Has anything you want to highlight, Alex, in regards to any questions for Lucy in regards to the show? Such as anyone got any questions? I think last time, in regards to work time, I had a lot of questions of how to get there. The Londoner Hotel will be at Leicester Square, so there's lots to do after the show as well. But Leicester Square, very vibrant, exciting area. Here we go, Lucy. Good luck. It sounds like you have this event all under control. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you. It doesn't feel like that all the time, but I'm glad you feel that way.
Well, we're in safe hands. We're in very safe hands with Lucy, I have to say. So it was how would I put it? The event was very professionally done, and you could tell it was done by someone who's been there, got the T-shirt. That's what I would say. It was of a very high caliber, and I think it was very well organized. And I've attended a lot of events, in regards to what I do for a living, and I had to say I thoroughly enjoyed it. Alex, what were your thoughts? We haven't heard much from you tonight, Alex. What's going on?
Sorry.
You're a bit quiet tonight.
Yeah, I've just been quiet because I've got a bit of a cough, but I am very much looking forward to the show, because I really enjoyed the first WatchPro that I ever went to, especially with upstairs when everyone was talking, because I got to listen to Roger Smith, O'Sheen as well. But I mean, Carrie Buter-Lennon is also not the main reason why I went, but was one of the reasons why I went, because I love his imagination. The fact that he makes his watches. He doesn't use 7750 movements. He uses in-house movements. But also what I found interesting was Sinn as well, who were there, and the material that they used for scratch resistance on the casing bracelet, because I had to go with that. And the BHI were there as well, that I sit on the board with. So proud of that. So overall, I am looking forward to this show. I'm looking forward to seeing all the other brands, especially, I don't know how you pronounce it. I think is it SPEAKE-MARIN?
SPEAKE-MARIN, yeah.
Because I've always had my eye on him in terms of his watches that he makes. I've never actually held one of his watches, but I'd love to actually physically hold one and try one on. But you can actually get them at good prices on the pre-owned market as well.
I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Robin again from Grand Seiko, because last time I did that when I covered the show last time, Lucy. that man's passion behind Grand Seiko was on a different level. And I said jokingly with Robin, you know, try not to destroy the Swiss watch industry again. And he goes, would that be a bad thing if we were wearing Grand Seikos? So I had a good old laugh with the guys to see, you know, how they represent, you know, they're like the backbone of the brands they represent wherever they're based as such. But I know even Squally Fabio was in touch with me. He wants to have a word with me apparently. So it's going to be very, I don't know what I've done. No, I think he wants to talk to me about, you know, about their watches they're going to be launching. But it's going to be very, very intriguing, very interesting indeed. And we can see, I don't know if you want to remove some of those comments there, Alex, we've got there. This is not a dating site. This is about WatchPro. So
they've been removed. Yeah.
Oh, they have. Have they? Oh, okay.
I'm looking forward to seeing Reservoir. They're quite different.
That was great. They were. That was brilliant. They were actually almost going to do the show last year, but it's, you know, with and it was the same. You know, so it was lovely to. And actually, Squallo's a good shout because they came to the show last year, and it's kind of nice when you see these brands come full circle and are joining us this year. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, Reservoir and Q-Lock too as well, the makers of the wall and table clocks that actually spell out the time. They're quite interesting.
Reservoir, isn't that the company that make their dials that look like gauges, like petrol gauges?
They're jump hour retrograde minutes with a power reserve. They're quite confusing because the chronograph has a quirky way of recording the elapsed time that's inspired by meters from analog stereo amplifiers. They look like petrol gauges, but they're quite interesting,
So, Lucy, you're obviously very busy at the moment, as I in recent weeks when we've been speaking, whether you're under the weather or not, you are working full belt, you know, trying to put this show together.
Yeah.
What for you is going to be the biggest achievement in regards to this show, or the biggest challenge? Because a challenge normally results into being the achievement of the show. What's going to be the biggest achievement this time round for you?
I honestly, the biggest achievement for me is so I keep calling it the difficult second album because it's like, you know, it's about, you know, well, it is, isn't it? Because there's this, you know, ultimately, like last year was wonderful, and actually it exceeded my expectations, which is good because I have pretty high ones, I'm not going to lie. And so it's a really fine balance between making a show bigger and better than the year before, but not too much, because you don't, again, having done you live and you learn from doing things, and you don't want to grow something too big or too quickly. You actually want to grow it in the right way. You want to have just these little tweaks that weren't there, so people don't come and go, oh well, this looks the same as last year. So you have to look at, and it's also about getting the right brands there, and then just finding interesting ways to do stuff just a little bit different. So you know, things like we've got some hospitality groups, we're doing some tours, we've just actually announced that we're doing a wine tasting, we've got like the whiskey and watches talk on the Saturday. So I think successful, honestly, just the main success will be all the brands being happy. Because that's the most important thing, is that you know, having a small part in making you know, helping them you know, achieve whatever they want to do for the year is kind of the most rewarding part. So I would say that.
So what was that you highlighted there, Alex? What was that? Okay, they're all coming through now. Biggest achievement, not getting any watches stolen.
Well, we have a lot of security, and there is CCTV everywhere in the building, so that will be quite difficult.
Fantastic. So, Thomas, have you got any questions for Lucy at all? Because you being a major advocate, and I would say Thomas would be a great tour guide for this WatchPro Salon event. So if you want to...
Don't stand still for too long when you're there. I'll rope you into doing something.
Look, Thomas is someone that me and Alex speak quite a lot about, and when you see a comment from Thomas on the live chats, it's more like a WatchPro article because he's going into so much depth and detail. I think that he's working for a magazine publisher because it's all in there, isn't it, Thomas? It's like a Wikipedia. You're like a book of knowledge. And Thomas is very good in regards to a reference point. Whatever you need to know or anything you've forgotten, be rest assured that Thomas will remember what it
there
is.
There's a bit of Tommy Googling that goes on.
Oh, is it? All right. Is that that old secret then, Thomas? Yeah? Fantastic. So I think we've got a couple of announcements as well, Alex, haven't we, really, to since we've got Lucy here as well. Those of you who know that I do recruit in the luxury world of watches. My office in Canary Wharf is now going to be rebranded and renamed to A to Z of Watches. And we've got a big announcement that one of the UK ADs is now going to be outsourcing watch servicing to us at A to Z of Watches. And we're going to be collaborating in partnership with the world famous Alexandros Fodi at Perpetual Time. So this will give us the opportunity to grow the authenticity services that Alex is doing at the moment. And I think we've got about 300-400 watches coming in, Alex, for service. So we have inherited the problems of the ADs. So we are what you could say. We are right in the trenches at the moment of being responsible for getting these watches done. And I've got some very good watchmakers that are WASTEP certified, accredited with the likes of Tag Heuer and all the brands and stuff like that. So it's going to be exciting. And on top of that, I'd like to announce we are going to be working with the Watch Register as well. Lucy, they're going to be attending WatchPro as well. So we're going to be providing a lot of services through A to Z of Watches. And it's going to be very exciting. A lot of investment's gone into it as well. A lot of money's gone into this. So exciting times, but it's not as all glamorous as it sounds. But we might not be as stressed as you, Lucy, about this show. But believe me, I am feeling it at the moment. And we hope to continue working with WatchPro. The partnership, that I have with you guys is great. And I will be coming down and spending some time with you guys in the office. Maybe we'll bring Thomas and Alex. Alex will be great to see you there, and Thomas as well. If you're happy for us to be there, Lucy, and happy to do some videos for you guys, and maybe showcase what we're going to be doing and showcase the areas where we're going to be working and stuff like that. It's going to be great,
Yeah, amazing. That sounds fantastic. I mean, you guys seem to be growing and growing, and so I think for us as well, we've got our flagship events, and the salon and the market, but we very much want to, when we go back to the word community, I think that having we as WatchPro, in terms of like the visitation we get to the website and the magazine, etc., is really, really high. So our intention is to just kind of bring that to the live world and so next year do much more in terms of smaller meetups and just getting that regular like opportunity to talk and meet up and so watch this space.
I would say as well, Lucy, you had the Spline Hub. Is it the Spline Hub last year?
Yes.
As well, the car restoration guys. Yeah. They were the guys that really helped me instigate the Time to Drive channel.
Oh, really?
For example.
Really
and it led
cool.
on to me getting in with hexagon cars that I know very well anyway. But there's a lot of opportunities here at WatchPro. The salon event is a great networking opportunity for other YouTubers to come down, get to know the brands. You're going to get to meet the people behind the brands, so you get a real great insight. But on top of that, what you're going to get as well is a boutique experience with some of the brands that are going to be there, really going all out to exhibit their watches, like a bit like Baselworld. The Grand Seiko, where they exhibit, it would be like what you'd get in Baselworld. It's like walking into their Knightsbridge boutique that's now moved to Bond Street.
Yes, they will have the Japanese walkway again. So that's the Zen Garden is what we call it. So and I think that's again, people's expectations of what they want when they come to an event is higher than it, and so you want to. It's nice to be able to kind of feel feel all the experience rather than just kind of going and that's really what we're trying to create is an experience rather than just an event.
Fantastic.
Community, isn't it? That's why I always say
Definitely.
About people that would never get together in that sort of function, get together and enjoy looking at different types of watches that they wouldn't really see. Because let's be honest, most of these watches you will be able to go in a shop and see them, because a lot of the shops don't actually sell these particular brands. You know, some of them are very specialist and some of them are micro brands, if we can use the word micro brand. So it gets a talking point, and then they appreciate other brands, you know, and I've always said that there's other brands out there, you know, you should never kind of put your nose up to unless you've actually physically seen the watches, you know. I've always said that.
Well, I think as well, it's you know, when you invest in a watch, it's, you know, you're investing in the story and also the people behind it, and some of these small brands are doing. It blows my mind, the passion that the brands have, you know, and the fact that they can stand there for you know, even you know, for days on end and talk with the amount of passion and enthusiasm about their brands that they do. You know, my work, once I get there, making sure everything works all right, but you know, ultimately they then have to put the work in to kind of tell their stories. But you don't get that from going, I mean, you don't necessarily get that kind of experience from going into a retailer. And also a lot of these smaller brands, that's not the best way for them to grow their brand, because it's not just about the watch itself, it's about them and it's about the story and everything, and that's what you buy into. And so that's why events like these are so important.
Lucy,
don't have a YouTube
you've got an
channel.
interesting.
She has an Instagram. She has an Instagram. Follow Lucy on Instagram.
You can follow me on Instagram. It's LV's right.
Or you can hit the YouTube channel in the banner at the bottom and live.watchpro.com/salon and check out the WatchPro Salon website and buy tickets there, because
you can get tickets and then you can see me in real life if you like.
Yeah.
And if you want a discount, don't forget that if you type in D-Time, it gives you a considerable discount for the show, guys. So don't forget, D-Time will give you a considerable discount for the show. It's live.watchpro.com salon. Click on the link, guys, and get your tickets if you haven't already, because they're selling out fast, aren't they, Lucy? To be fair, there's been a real uptake in the last
they are, and so
hours.
you know, you can come, as I said, the Thursday from 2 p.m. we've got that's when you can book the private appointments to see brands. So if you buy a ticket, you can write the brands that you want to meet with, and we'll facilitate that for you, and you get lovely champagne and canapes, which is quite nice. And then Friday evening is cocktails, champagne, canapes, more, and then Saturday is just all day, and that's when we have our talks. So yeah, you get your tickets now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, just looking at one of the questions. You can buy tickets on the door for sure. Yeah.
So Lucy, you know, some of the guys that are coming out as press as such. When we have our press, will we be able to come on the Saturday as well? I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, so, you can for sure.
Okay.
It'll give you access for the whole event.
Fantastic. So, you know, Thomas is going to be there, Alex is going to be there, I'm going to be there. Of course, Lucy's going to be there working her socks off.
Well, I think we've just decided that Thomas is doing some tours, isn't he?
Of course. I think Thomas is the perfect guy if you want to go through everything in a logical order.
If you're there on the Saturday, Thomas, just let us know.
Yeah. If you're there on the Saturday, because Saturday's going to be a lot more busier because there's going to be a bigger crowd coming, and a lot of the time some of these sales representatives will be busy talking to people. So if you feel that you don't want to interrupt their conversation, just ask Thomas to explain the models, the power reserve, the movements that they have, and the history of the brand. Thomas will be more than happy to oblige and provide the knowledge that he needs.
And I've just put the D-Time code. The D-Time is the discount code for tickets. If you're wanting to buy tickets,
I will be doing a video on my channel next week, guys.
That's all in capital letters. Yeah.
I think that works, doesn't it, Lucy? Just D-Time in capitals, yeah. Should work fine. I will be doing a video next week, guys. I've been a little bit under the weather, bit of the man flu. You know how it is. So I've sort of been ignoring everybody. So apologies in regards to that. I am in recovery mode, but there will be a video out just showcasing everything, what's going on WatchPro Salon Live next week on the D-Time Love channel. But Lucy, have you found streaming. We didn't want to bring you into something like cinematic, but you see, even the background, if you can see that, that's the Londoner where the talks will be happening.
Oh yeah.
Have you noticed that? For little touches.
It's very nice. I enjoyed myself. It was good.
So what we'd like to do, Lucy, is have you on here more often if you're happy to come on.
I think it's a good opportunity to, you know, to actually talk about all the things that we're doing, and because there's so much happening, and there's only so many. It's such a into something like this is there's so many watch lovers out there, but actually trying to find them and reach them is quite a difficult thing to do, because it's not like we can't just blanket kind of promote everywhere. So this kind of stuff is invaluable to be able to connect with new people. So I look forward to seeing you all there.
So one thing I want to ask you, Lucy, is obviously you were in the game beforehand, you know, doing some very upmarket watch events.
Right.
So did Rob headhunt you? How did you get the job, out of curiosity? Was it through an agency, or did he contact you directly? How did it happen?
He did. So WatchPro was co-founded by Rob and Daniel Mailings, and me and Dan have known each other since when I was doing Salon QP. And I think that they obviously had a conversation in that they wanted to do events, and Dan suggested. I don't think that Rob and I had never actually met. I think we've probably been in the same room, but we hadn't actually ever met when I was doing Salon QP, and I was running my own business. And I just got contacted by them, and actually the meeting was just to talk about doing one event, and we went in and started talking, and by the end of it, a few days later I had like a full-time job and a whole department, because which was nice. I think we just really hit it off, and it was you know, as I said, Salon QP was a real labor of love, and so to be able to come back and do a new one, and with people that like I really love working with, it's really great. So that's how it happened.
Yep. Fantastic. And has anyone got any questions for Lucy? Now is the time. If you want to find out anything in the chat you want to highlight, guys.
Is there an after party?
Oh, there is actually.
There is when Alex is around. There is an after party. This man's around.
Very, very good question. Yes, there is.
Shall we do it?
And I can be bribed. So.
Shall we do an after party then? Yeah.
Yeah. So
here's a good one, Lucy. Here's a good one for me, Nicholson. Do you wear a watch, and if so, which brand?
I am. The watch I'm wearing right now is a Sequence, which is the world's first solar-powered smartwatch, and they're actually going to be at the salon. I also, I have a sort of joint watch that with my friend who is his granddad's watch, which is a Hoya, and I also have a Timex. Nothing, and I have a Rado, vintage Rado as well, from the 70s.
Nice.
Very nice. So what is everybody wearing today? Do you want to start off, Alex? Well, we know what you're wearing. It's going to be...
I always wear my WC, Big Pilots. Yep. That's my everyday watch.
And Thomas?
I'm wearing a...
That's a vintage Pro.
It's a vintage baby Pro Prof.
Ah, fantastic. Look at that.
Only Thomas would wear that, you see.
Only Thomas would find that as well. That's going to be very collectible, I would have thought, Thomas, that. And I'm wearing a modern piece today. Got the good old
nice.
Out 300 Pro. Don't know if that's focusing.
So just confirm the dates that the show's on, Lucy.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. It's the 11th to the 12th of November, which is a Friday and Saturday. So 2 weeks tomorrow.
And what's the times that it's going to be on?
So Friday starts the VIP preview starts from 2 p.m. So it's 2 till 5:30, and then the evening drinks are 5:30 to 8:30, and then Saturday is 10 till 6.
Okay.
So, should we have a plan of action if people want to meet up with us on the Saturday? Because I know a lot of people are going to be attending. Alex, where should we say we'll just meet them outside the? Is it the ballroom that you guys call it there?
Yeah, well, what you can do is the ballroom foyer. There's a lovely big bar, so I would suggest you meet at the bar.
Ian, we'll see
Seems
you at the bar, Ian.
Yeah.
Very good going, guys. I'll see you. I know where to find the guys then. They'll be at the bar for sure. So, So you mentioned, just remind me, who's going to be doing the landlord thing and giving out?
That's 7 Friday.
That's the Friday. So, Ian, guys that are coming on the Friday, I know where to find you then. It'll be
Their motto is live every day like it's a Friday. So I imagine it will be like Friday vibes on the Saturday as well.
Fantastic. Guys, I think we've pretty much covered everything, haven't we, really? It's been good. There's been a lot of people in the comments coming through. And I think if everyone's singing off the same hymn sheet, I'm excited about it. I'm sort of counting down the days. I'm like, look, I need to get well for this event. So I'm like, look, I'm not going to be going anywhere until I recover, to make sure that I'm prepared to give WatchPro my best. You know what I mean? So it's going to be all fun and games. I'm looking forward to seeing Rob, and a lot of people from the YouTube community are now going to be attending, WatchPro that probably haven't before. So it's going to be a cool experience.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Alex, did you work out today? I can't tell. Alex is feeling under the weather, guys. He's got the man flu as well.
Yeah.
He hasn't. He's been absent from the gym. Even the gym manager called him up. Because the man's addicted to the gym. So.
Yeah, they're coming now.
Thomas, did Alex send you that cap, or did you? Is that a paid promotion? I hope, Thomas, to wear that cap.
He sent me as a gift.
Oh, okay. I'm still waiting for mine.
It's my uniform. It's the uniform for the stream.
Yeah. I need
a
a uniform for what? I want to have the embroidered initials on my get the cufflinks as well would be good. We can have like a rotor and the WatchPro on the rotor would be nice.
I'll work on that one, yeah.
Well, you guys, I'm surprised you're not doing merchandise for the show, Lucy.
Oh, don't give Rob ideas.
It could go down well, couldn't
Rob,
it?
if you're listening, merchandise is next year venture.
I think it would go down well. Maybe a few mugs or things like that, or
just brand.
Now we've covered really WatchPro, Lucy. What's your sort of holy grail watch? What would you like if money was no object? What type of watch would you like to purchase?
Oh, I don't know. Do you know what? I thought you might ask me this, and I don't know. I was talking. I will be. So Giles Ellis of Schofield fame is now a very good friend of mine, and so when I can afford it, I'm going to have a Schofield with a custom case back, and he's gonna make it my favorite thing.
LC. So, you're gonna have like your initials at the back. Yeah.
So
I think they've got it on the doll, haven't they? They've got it on the doll. You can have. You can have
a custom case back, yeah. But I think I've decided I might try and have different bits from different places. But yeah, that's my plan.
He does some great watches. I saw last year. I saw some of his, and he had the date wheels, had different icons on. And,
his new treasure watch is amazing as well.
Yeah, brilliant. He's a great person, Giles, and his speaking last year was great.
Well, his whole story is that he wanted to buy a watch, but he didn't find anything that he liked, so he started. He was a graphic designer by trade, so he started a watch brand, and so design's incredibly important to him. So the sort of the topic of how to design a beautiful object is kind of a talk that he did a lot at Salon QP, and so it was great to have him back on the panel and talking about design.
Yeah.
Alex, Lucy, is British Horological Institute going to be there this year, or they're not attending this year?
Not this year. I think they're going to come back next year. There's some brands like Kari. It's sad that he's not going to be there, but he's just a very popular man, and he's got about 4 to 5 years worth of orders. So that's why he won't unfortunately be there. But obviously he's also purchased Urban Jurgensen, so fingers crossed I might try and get both of them there next year.
He's been in
Maybe we'll do something next year.
Carrie was at Watch Time New York this year, wasn't he? He's just been at Watch Time New York, so as you say, he's a busy man.
He's a very in-demand man, yes.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Alex, I was thinking maybe I could get a couple of the watchmakers and the so-called retired watchmaker to come down to WatchPro next year and exhibit. We could do like who could service a watch quickest. Put Alex under pressure.
Oh, I really like that idea. Yeah,
you see really how good Alex is, because we hear a lot of talk. I'm going to see the man now really, put these boys to the test. Can the what we call the bodybuilder watchmaker compete?
Like a servicing sort of deathmatch.
It's bad enough doing the live streams with people watching, never mind having people physically there watching you. I mean, there's been times where I've done a live stream where I've actually pinged a part, but you can't tell because I had the actual parts on my desk. So I managed just to not show the part actually just pinged off. But to actually have physically people watching you is more, if it's more than two people, it does become you do put yourself under unnecessary stress, I think.
My watchmakers are very competitive, Alex. They've already said that I will out-service the other guy, and they haven't even really got started yet. So it's going to be an interesting journey of horology and servicing, I would say. But no, I think we'll do something, Lucy, because we literally just got it together. We're going to be collaborating with the watch register as well, so we'll try and put something together to really showcase what we're all about and what we're going to be doing. And just exciting times, I have to say. And for all the chats, we've got GMT Yasu, ladies and gentlemen, one of our fellow compatriots. They're all coming through now. Yasu, Mr. James.
Yeah, we've got a little question on asking saying, are there going to be any clocks exhibited? I know that Q-Lock 2
Clock 2 will be there.
They make wall clocks and desk clocks, table clocks. So they're going to be one brand who are going to be there to see. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not too sure any other brands, Lucy.
They're the only clock brand. Yeah.
So that's another genre, isn't it? Clock brands. I mean, I guess that's someone's mentioned Uncle Junga and pocket watches. Is anybody showcasing any pocket watches at all?
No.
Don't think so.
If anyone's interested in clocks, I definitely suggest you go and visit Upton Hall, the BHI, because as you go inside, you see some amazing clocks that have been built, modern, vintage sort of clocks. But I would definitely suggest you go down to Upton Hall, which is in Newark. There's just so many.
What's the place in Nottingham? Is that the college? Is it the BHI in Nottingham?
No, it's Birmingham, isn't it?
Is it Birmingham? Oh, I thought it was Nottingham for some reason. Okay.
No, there's Birmingham. There's a college in Birmingham. So there's the WASP, British School of Watchmaking in Manchester. Then there's one in Birmingham, and then you have Upton Hall as well.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I think that we talked to the AHCI as well, which obviously have Sinclair Harding and other, and I definitely want to try. I used to get them as a collective to come to Salon QP, so that's very much something that I want to try and do. Maybe I think that might be a next year one, but they have so many incredible brands and lots of them, so it'd be nice to have them there as a collective.
Fantastic. So, guys, like we said, we're going to be there on the Friday and the Saturday, Lucy. Anyone who's going to be there, don't be afraid to come and say hi. We'll be open to have a good old conversation and share our passion for watches. And one thing that will be guaranteed, after this is over, we'll see you at the bar. And we're going to need a drink because 2 days, I mean, I love watches, but you know what it is? When you're talking to everybody and everyone, you're either going to have pretty much a sore throat after it all. And only thing I can say it replicates is when you're at a football match and you're screaming, the odds, trying to get your team over the line. So that's what I felt like last time. It feels a lot of hard work. So, Lucy, I really appreciate what you've done for the watch community. And everyone, now you can see who is behind the WatchPro Salon Live, the talent behind the show, and who brings it together. You're a
really good hype, Mandy.
I normally do this for Alex. But genuinely, I mean it this time. I'm just trying to. I'm trying to. I'm always trying to motivate Alex to get to the top. When I say world famous, one day he will be world famous, not just UK famous. But Thomas Burnett, who is a foundation member of the watch community, and I've seen comments from Thomas going back maybe over a decade. Before I was even doing YouTube. So, Thomas, we'll let you have the last word, really, Thomas. Do you want to basically do the outro and look forward to seeing everybody at the WatchPro?
Yeah, all I can say to people is hit that website at the bottom that's in the banner and live.watchpro.com/salon and check out the website. And it's really good. You'll learn all about the different brands that are going to be exhibiting. You'll learn where to buy the ticket, where the event is being held, the venue. You'll find out about WatchPro, the magazine. You'll learn a lot more than we can tell you, basically. It's all there. And use that code DTIME for the tickets and you get a discount. And it's going to be a fascinating weekend of events, the 11th and 12th of November. We're all looking forward to it, and it's going to be a great time. I know a lot of people in the chat are going, and they're going to have a great time. And
you forgot one thing, Thomas.
You are
the official tour guide. There's going to be gold, silver, bronze services. If you want the gold service, you will have to PayPal Thomas, and he will go to different levels. And he will. We're talking about how many minutes you get with Thomas to indulge in his knowledge of these watches. But no, on a serious note, Alex will be there. Hopefully, he's going to be in better spirits. And he's a little bit under the weather. You can see he's a little bit, sulking there a little bit in the corner. But thank you for having us, Alex, on the show today. I was planning to do something. I wasn't sure I was going to be well enough to actually even do a show today, Lucy. I'm on the Lemsip, the Sudafed, but I'm glad I've got great people around me supporting the show. And what can I say? I will be there indulging in the mezen of watches. And we have to give it a bit of a Greek, spin, Lucy. So the mezen of watches. So I'm going to enjoy the independence. I'm going to enjoy the masses. And I'm going to enjoy some of the cheaper dips that I get to put on my wrist as well on the day. So, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to go and check out Lucy's Instagram page. We want to get the numbers up on there because, we want to support her. We want her to continue, producing amazing events for us to attend every year. And hopefully it grows and grows and grows. And before you know it, we've got not just one event to look forward to. We've got 3 or 4 events to attend throughout the year, Lucy. That would be the ideal scenario. So, Rob, big shout out to Rob at WatchPro. Big shout out to the Watch Register. Big shout out to everybody watching. Perpetual Time, A to Z of watches. Big things are coming for 2023. And we'll see you at WatchPro Live. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Stay on, guys. Stay on.